Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today's video was born of a co-worker asking me about running. So that's what we're going to talk about. How we as runners can talk to new runners about running. Because, listen, a lot of new runners, they're not happy with it, right? It's not easy. Let's get into it. Wild chickens? We're out in the middle of nowhere. They can't belong to anyone. If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and do that now. It's at Matt_B_media. Now, if you already follow me on Instagram, you would have seen those wild pigs that I got on camera the other day. I just want to show you the type of damage that they do. So we're going to look down here. See how beautiful this grass is? It's all manicured. Well, the pigs come along. And they start rooting around for acorns, worms, whatever it is that pigs eat. And this is what it turns into. They have completely destroyed this this lovely manicured grass. And yeah, the homeowners associations of the places that they tear it all up, they're really not happy with those pigs. Anyway, now you know. Pigs. Alright, today is long run day. And I got started about 6. But I plan to be running for about 2.5 hours. That's why I got the sunglasses hooked onto the back of my hat. Temperatures this morning, a lovely 61 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll put it on the screen in Celsius. And yeah, so far I'm feeling all right. I'm 8 miles in. Did I say I'm running 19 today? Yeah, I'm running 19. That's on the schedule. And yeah, it's a lovely morning. Oh, it's a Monday. So sometimes we have to move our schedules around. I actually work 12-hour shifts when I'm at work. So it doesn't really give me enough time to run for 3 hours in between sleeping and eating and everything else. So I had to push my long run to Monday this week, which is totally fine. I mean, who cares? The only downside is that there is a lot of traffic. Obviously not where I am right now, but there's a lot more traffic out on the roads with everybody going to work. I do like running when there's no one around. It's very peaceful. If you follow me on Strava, do you guys ever wonder how I name my runs? Oh, look at this. Lake House Cove. You've probably seen my Lake House Cove loop. You know what, the more I think about it, you guys haven't wondered how I name my runs. That's just a case of me thinking I'm being cryptic. But really, I just name my runs for usually the furthest point that I go within my run. So when I do the Lake House Cove loop, I usually turn in there, and that's the furthest place from home, and then I run home. Lake House Cove loop. I suppose it's not rocket science, is it? I'm coming to the end of my my long run. And I really couldn't decide if I've had a hard time with it today, and I don't think so. I think today's 19 miles, 31 kilometers, I think it's been pretty easy. And when I think about how I'm feeling, it's just been an exercise in mental discipline, because you know, 2.5 hours out here on your own with no music, yeah, your boredom level can rise and fall. And I think if I was running with someone, I'd finish this run thinking that there was no doubt that it was a great run. I mean, there's no doubt it was a great run. All right, guys, I was right. That was a fantastic long run. 19.4 miles or 31.22 kilometers, an average pace of 7:57 a mile or 4:56 a kilometer, like 2 hours and 34 minutes. And yeah, my heart rate was getting a bit high towards the end. I was well into zone 3. I think I kept it in zone 2 for most of the time, but I kicked the pace in the last couple miles, you know, just because I wanted to. And you know, when I find that when I pick up the pace towards the end of a long run or an easy run, I feel fresher. And if I just run easy for the whole time, I feel kind of a little stiff, a little sore. All right, guys, it's still beautiful out. I think the temperature's like 67 degrees, 88% humidity. So the humidity was definitely higher first thing in the morning. It was definitely in the upper 90s, but it is gorgeous now. Beautiful weather. All right, I think it's time to get on with my day. So yeah, let's head back to the office. I will catch up with you in a bit. And we're back. All right, that was quite a running segment of this video, wasn't it? But I did go out for a long run. I was out for 2.5 hours. So I'd say you're lucky that you only got like 4 minutes of it. Anyway, on to the topic of today's video, which was my friend was asking about running, like how can he get into it? He just doesn't like it. And listen, if you're anything like me, you are the running friend of a large group of non-running friends, right? So you're gonna always get asked like, how can I run? What can I run in? What do you eat when you run? How do you breathe while running? And of course, you're gonna get the comments like, I wouldn't run unless someone was chasing me. Or, I don't even like to drive that far in a car. All right, for that last one though, it's funny because no matter how far you tell someone you've run, they do not want to drive that far in a car. It's like no one enjoys driving any distance whatsoever in a car. But I digress. So this question from my friend, it got me thinking, like, how did we all come about to running? So before we get into it, the question of the day is, how did you find running? What got you into running? Now, a lot of us, me and you, well, I don't know if you, that's why I'm asking, but a lot of us came to running as adults. So we probably remember the story of how we got here, of what made us start running. So I didn't start running until my late 20s. But some of us probably started running in school, and so you probably don't remember exactly how you started running because you've always been running. So it really doesn't matter how we got to running. The good thing about it is that we all know what it brings to our lives. You know, it really adds something in every area of our life. And that's what we need to get across to people that haven't started running or they find running difficult. We really want to sell this to them so they get out there and they can have what we have, right? So inevitably, the people that don't like running or they don't think they like running yet because they haven't really started, if you ask them why they don't like running, it's probably because it's hard, right? And listen, they're right. It's hard. Well, it's not really hard, but it's not easy, okay? It's not hard and it's not easy, but it's somewhere in between, okay? It's a level above sitting on the couch watching television. It's important to recognize that a lot of new runners think that they're not running unless they're sprinting. And that is something we have to get away from, because sprinting is hard and we cannot do it for a long time. And we get worn out pretty quick. So if a new runner is going out and they're sprinting, listen, of course they're not going to stick with it because a sprint is an all-out effort. So what can we say to new runners? And the first thing I would say is slow down. There is no speed limit or lower speed limit. Listen, there is no minimum speed. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no minimum speed that turns moving forward into running. The only difference between running and walking is that in running you get airborne. So with there being no minimum speed limit, it doesn't matter how fast you go. And when you're getting started, it's really important to go super slow. Okay, if you ask someone, do they get winded? Do they get out of breath? Do they find walking challenging? Listen, the answer is going to be no. There aren't many people that find walking challenging. And if if you do find walking challenging, it's unlikely that that person is going to come to you and ask how they can run. When you're talking to new runners, encourage them to start slow and they can run and walk. Like, you don't have to go out for a run and run the whole time. So I would suggest something like walk for 3 minutes and run for 30 seconds. Just go out, set an amount of time and go out and do that rotation. 3 minutes walking, 30 seconds running. And now over time, as you progress over the weeks, you can perhaps reduce that walking time or increase that running time, or both, right? Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you can run a mile and then 2 miles. And then, oh, you'll be entering a 5K before you know it. But it takes time, it takes persistence. And this, listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again, takes consistency. Consistency is the secret sauce of running. And that's what we have to get across to new runners. Like, it's not going to be easy the first time you go out, but with perseverance and consistency and a lot of running slow so you don't wear yourself out in the first 10 seconds, you will progress, you will get better. Listen, it's like anything else in life. It's like anything else in life, you have to practice it in order to get better. Let me give you an example outside of running. Okay, I've been doing this YouTube thing for about a year now, and when I started, it would take me about 6 hours to edit a video. You know, these short videos, takes me about 6 hours to edit. Now, 1 year on, I can knock out a video in about 5 hours and 45 minutes. Boom, that's progress. Now listen, I'm just kidding. I can probably edit a video a bit quicker than 5 hours and 45 minutes. But I'm not going to tell you how long it takes me because it's embarrassing. It's a lot. The thing that new runners need to understand, and as runners, as running influencers, the thing that you have to get across is that new runners need to go into this with eyes wide open. And it's not going to be easy. But, and this is a huge but, it does get easier and it does get better. And the benefits are so worth it. It's not just about losing weight, but new runners, they may see that benefit come on pretty quickly as they first start running. It's about feeling better about yourself. It's about being outside in nature and appreciating it. It's about doing something to ensure that you are healthy for yourself and your loved ones. It's about living longer. It's about strengthening your knees. Oh, did you get that? It's true. Running does not damage your knees, all right? Everyone's going to tell you that, but it's a myth. Running does not damage your knees. Moving on. It's about eating a pint of ice cream guilt-free. Okay, that last one is not really true. In fact, it's not true at all. Okay, we really have to be aware of what we eat still as runners. That phrase that if the fire's hot enough, you can burn anything, that's not really true. At least for runners getting a little older. You know, maybe teenagers, they can get away with that, but it's not true. We need to remain healthy. And, oh guys, here's a spoiler alert. In the next couple of days, I have a video coming out about how and why runners gain weight. So if you're not subscribed, please do so now. So remember my coworker who asked me about how we can start running and how difficult it is? This is basically what I told him. Now, I didn't share with him minutes of B-roll of me running. We didn't talk about wild chickens, but I did tell him about the walk run. I did tell him to take it easy, to slow down. And I did tell him that it will take a little bit of time before it gets easier, before it gets better. Okay, but it will. It will. And I'll be checking in with this guy over the next couple months just to give encouragement and see how he's getting along. Because as runners, you know, it's our job. You know, it's a responsibility we owe that to people that don't run and they want to run. It's our job to encourage them, to let them know that it does get easier, that it's a great sport, and they can reap the benefits too. And we want that for everyone, right? Okay, if you weren't paying attention earlier, the question of the day is, how did you get into running? Go ahead and write in the comments below and I'll respond to each and every one of you. We're all being watched, all right? We're all being watched as runners, I mean, not like creepy being watched, but we all have friends, neighbors, co-workers that see us doing what we're doing, and you never know the influence you're having on them. So when someone wants to speak to you about running, be a good running ambassador and tell them about it. And tell them about it in a way that they go in with it knowing what to expect, all right? And tell them to start slow. That's it. Tell them to start slow. Okay, as I said, I have a new video coming out in a couple of days. It's about weight loss. Let's throw this back now to some older videos when this was years before I started YouTube and I was just uploading silly stuff. Let's throw it back to 2 of those videos, and I will see you in a couple days. Guys, as always, be kind, be happy, and run well.
It's a new dawn.